Hello everyone. So today let us play with automation rules. I have made lots of videos on automation and I have covered almost all the possible things that you can do. But to be honest, there is no limit of what you can do with automation. There are different use cases. There are different combinations that you can do, like different type of rules that you can do. So today I was actually doing one small thing on my Jira instance, and actually someone was looking for doing this automation. Now let us say you want to let me explain the problem. Let us say you have this issue, and if you look at this issue, I mean any issue in Jira, let us say you want to retrieve the substring from some text field, or basically any string that you have anywhere. Let us say if we have this summary, like this is the summary, and maybe in your parentheses you have something like this is test, and you want to retrieve this is test, this substring from this summary. And basically the idea here is that you want to retrieve this substring enclosed within the parenthesis, and at the same time of course this is of course my summary field, so I will see how to do it from summary field. At the same time you may also have because I was doing this for someone, and and this substring can be anywhere. It could be a custom field, but imagine that your custom field is not just any custom field. It is some list, like it could be a checkbox. So maybe you have this field called checkbox. There's a spelling mistake here, but some checkbox based field, which is of course going to retrieve, not retrieve, but give you, when you retrieve this using a smart value, it will give you like one or two or many items. So in this, we have this option 3 where it says test in parentheses. So basically, again, we have some string that we want to retrieve. So we'll see how to retrieve these two substrings within the parentheses. So let me open the issue first, and what I will do is I will show you this issue. So this is of course my summary. This is test. We want to retrieve this is test, and we also want to retrieve test in parentheses, and we know that we have to use these parentheses basically. So to write this rule, all you need to do, you can write this rule to get triggered on any action, any trigger. Action is something that you will do, but the trigger could be anything. For this testing, let us say you want to trigger this on a transition to done, right? Because it is simple. So in my automation rule, I'm basically naming my rule as fetch substring, and I want to also give this rule a scope of single project, so that I don't really contribute. I don't really want my execution limit to reach the limit. So we are going to transition this to done, and the rule will then get triggered. And at the same time, whenever I test my rules, I usually write a comment, or I use the audit log. So it is actually very simple. All you need to do something like this, and I'll show you. Basically, if you do something like issue.summary, or if you do something like issue.your custom field name, in this case it is a check boss BOS. So this is of course the way to retrieve the field value. Let me just do this, or I'll get rid of this because this is the actual solution, but I'll remove this and show you. So let us publish this, and I want to enable this rule. I'll go to the audit log, and I'll go to the issue, and I'll probably make a transition to done. And when you make a transition to done, the rule should run, I guess. And if you refresh this, you should be able to see this comment. So basically it is showing us the actual summary, which is what we want. Not the entire summary, but we are close. We just need to retrieve the text within the parentheses, and also at the same time for the checkboxes field, it is going to give us both the options that we have selected in the issue, but we only want this, right? So to do this, you need to basically use something called as, so there are some like functions let me show you. Let us do a quick Google search, like Jira Smart Value Substring, and if we go to this particular page, just search on Google, to be honest, you will find everything. Substring, and basically you want to do something like this. I mean, this is of course just one way of doing it, and I'll just basically use something like this first. Substring after, or substring after last, or substring after first. So there are like a few things that you can do. For example, you can do something like substring after last, and substring I think there is also called substring after last, and I think there should be something called as first. Let me just check. I think there is something called as first. I hope so. Substring after first. Do we have something called after first? Maybe there is no. There should be. I think there should be. Let us see. Okay, so let us first try this. So what I will do is I will try issue.summary, and I will try to use it in my comment. Basically, I want to retrieve a substring after the parenthesis. So basically, if it will basically give us everything, but we don't really want everything. We also want we also want to like fetch this till it finds the ending parenthesis. So we can do something called as substring before last. So I think this should work, and this is of course just one way of doing it. There might be another way. There is actually another way. So what this will do, so basically the first smart value will give us everything after the first parenthesis, then we have to trim it again. So we should be able to do something like this. Let me just because I need to specify the last parenthesis, and I will use it in my smart value. And to be honest, working with smart values, it is not massively readable, but at least we have something. It is better than nothing. So let us see if this works. So I'll run this again. I'll go to in progress, and I'll move the issue to done again. Let us see if this works. I hope it works. It worked. Good. Let us refresh the issue, and hopefully it will give us what we're looking for. Hopefully, yes. So we are able to retrieve this. This is test. Now this is great. We want this, but there is a better way of doing it, and that better way, we don't really want to do like substring after and then substring before. This is another way. A better way of doing it is to use something called as substring between. That is actually very convenient. So what you need to do is this issue.summary, and then the function is substring between, I guess, between with B capital, and then you have to pass in your first parenthesis and second parenthesis, whatever like character you have. So you can do something like this and this. Better way. Perfect. Let us run this and fetch this, and I'll make the transition again to done, and let us check the audit log. I like checking the audit log because it's a good feeling when you look at success. Yes, we have achieved something, and let us refresh this and take a look at the better way. Yes, we are able to retrieve this, so this is good. But what if you want to do the same thing for this field, which is a checkbox? I mean, it could be any field that is going to return multiple options. And if you look at the output here, it is going to basically give us option 2, option 3, basically what we have here in the issue. But we want to iterate this list. And for iteration, there is actually a way to iterate. And that particular way is basically using, let me just show you. Iterate the list, and I've shown this before, by the way, but it's okay. I mean, in this video I'm talking about substring. That is the main thing. So basically you need to do issue.checkbox, whatever field, basically the same thing on top, but because it is going to retrieve multiple items, so you need to prefix it with hash, and then you need to end it with this /, and in between you need to use value. So whatever you have, you can do something on value. So basically value will have option 1 and then option 2, and basically we are going to retrieve this, or basically run this function on top of it. And if there is a match, for example, if it will go to option 1, it will look for anything between 2 parentheses, and we don't really have any parentheses, so it will skip it. But for option 3, it will give us test in parentheses, hopefully. So that is the plan. Let us save it and publish it, and run the rule again. To do, done. Go back to the rule, go back to the audit log, check success. Great. Let me check the issue, and let me check if we are able to retrieve this. Yes, we are able to retrieve this, and it works. And yep, it's a good news for everyone, because now we are able to retrieve something. And by the way, you can do something based on, I mean, this is just one example, but the use cases are endless. You can do these things to maybe pick up a keyword from your email. And I've made videos on this topic, by the way. I mean, a lot of videos, but especially on this topic, where I showed how to retrieve something from your description. Because imagine that you are using Jira for your help desk, and people are sending you an email, and you want to retrieve some keywords and populate a field. So let me show you one video, hopefully. So this video, and I believe one more video. Yeah, this one. So basically these 2 videos is something that you can watch to basically learn how to do this, and or a bit more advanced things. Basically you can use substring, but if you want to retrieve the issue key, you can. You need to basically use regular expression, but the concept is same. The concept is same. So that is it. That is it for today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you learned something new. Thank you very much.